It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
What's going on, Lake of the Ozarks, friends, family, viewers? I'm William Holtz.
I'm Uncle Chris.
We're here at Slumberland at the lake for another cup of coffee. We got a great show for you. We're going to recap the Lake of the Ozarks Shootout officially came and went, and what a year it was.
I can't believe you're still standing because, man, you and Andrew Evans were just working all weekend, 24/7 on that shootout. Just the best coverage of the shootout I have ever seen on Lake TV this last few days.
We got lots to go over too, tell you so much content already out there, so much coming, just fired up about that. We'll tell you about that. Plus we'll have Stacy Pirtle with the Magic Dragon Trails and Branches of the Lake on to talk about a really cool Halloween park and haunted trail they're gonna do at the end of October out of the Magic Dragon Trails. Plus, we're going to tell you about a huge event this weekend on Lake TV, the Wiener Nationals powered by Ingen Woods. Going to be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you haven't heard of this, man, this is going to turn into something huge starting this year, man.
Going to be incredible. Plus, our friends Kovacs, they've got some cool stuff going on for Labor Day fireworks. You don't always think about fireworks on Labor Day,
No.
but here at the lake, that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And Kovacs rolling out the red carpet for you. We'll tell you about that. Plus, we'll wrap up a pretty sad and tragic weekend around the lake for different reasons. We'll tell you about that and a whole lot more. But first, what I want to do, Chris, is kind of recap this incredible shootout weekend because it's the 35th annual Lake of the Ozarks Shootout. And in the boating industry, this is really an opportunity for the marine world to flex their muscles a little bit, roll out new products, try new setups. And we saw a lot of that this weekend. We saw a lot of records broken. So we'll take it right from the top. This year's shootout, all eyes were on the 8-time reigning Top Gun American Ethanol. Of course, the 51-foot Mystic powerboat. The Cat, owned by Don Onken and Mystic Boats. They had a new setup. I talked with Don on Thursday. The Onkens and the American Ethanol team, they were nice enough to give Lake TV the exclusive as they arrived to Captain Ron's on the Polylift Boat Lifts dock, and that was incredible. They were firing up their new engines, and they've never run Mercuries before up until this year.
Wow.
And their new setup was with what Don called 2 times Mercury hot rod. They had extra blowers, and Tony called it a quad cam overhead valve engine with a 1350 bottom in each one with monster pro chargers on each side.
Wow.
The new engine program produced a total of 5,000 horsepower, and it's the first time, like I said, they've ever run a Mercury. And on their first run Saturday, broke both lower belts on each side. You could see as we slowed down our run, they flew off the boat, but that didn't stop them from running 2:14, a new course record on their first run. The crowd went crazy, the viewers went crazy, and it is their second best ever time at the shootout. They went 2:17 back in 14, which we'll tell you about in a minute. Now, that's their 9th consecutive Top Gun ever, the fastest time ever run on a 3/4 of a mile course. And they did go again that day. Their second pass only went 186 and then shut her down. But when you start with 2:14, pretty easy, right?
Pretty tough to beat that, yeah.
So
I'm amazed, though, that you've got Top Gun 8 years in a row and you come in with a new system. That is amazing. And then you top what you did before.
And here's what's really cool. I asked Tony Badiato and Don Onken if we may see more speed than 2:14 in 24. Here's what they had to say.
Question, I noticed on your 214-mile run, those 2 belts blew out. So something tells me you guys might have even left a couple of miles on the course. So can we see a bigger speed in the next couple of years?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We hope so. We'd like to run in the 220s, you know.
And so I'm already fired up about 24 because there's no doubt in my mind that with Don Onken and his inability to slow down when it comes to spending money and rigging that boat up, there is no expense they won't spend. It's unbelievable. And when you have John Kosker and Tony Badiato working on the rig as well, I'm pretty confident that they're going to top that. And it just makes it so much more exciting because here we are the week after the shootout, and I'm like, is it shootout time yet? Because I cannot wait. And that wasn't the only boat that there were a lot of eyes on coming into this weekend. Dirty Duck had a phenomenal weekend. Slug Hefner's 43-foot skater cat rocking a pair of 2,000 horsepower Brumman engines. He runs with Performance Boat Center Myrick Coyle, heard of him?
Yep.
And Rusty Williams. They ran his boat for him, which is pretty wild. A lot of ties here we're going to talk about. They went 187 on Saturday, which was impressive. I talked with Rusty Saturday night, and he goes, listen, we can hit 190 in that boat. I was so impressed with once we got up on plane how it was running. He goes, I think we can hit 190. And so on their run Sunday, 194, Chris.
Wow.
Listen, it's the second fastest time of the weekend, and it's only the second boat to ever run 190 plus on that 3/4 a mile course. You can absolutely tell how big of a deal this was. We talked with Slug, we talked with Rusty. They were both really, really fired up. But here's what's really cool, Chris, about that. Dirty Duck came in and Slug was kind of throwing a little bit of a little bit of heat, a little bit of shade, saying, listen, we're going to come for American Ethanol. In the back of his boat, he has a 217 mile per hour decal. And if that makes sense, you remember in 2014, American Ethanol run 217. Guess who was in that boat with John Kosker?
Who?
Slug Hefner.
Really?
In 2014.
Wow.
So he was in the American Ethanol team. And then in 2015, another tie, Myrick Coyle ran with John Kosker in the American Ethanol boat, going 208. So incredible ties together when it comes to the American Ethanol team and Slug Hefner and now the Dirty Duck boat. But I'm telling you what, they said as well, we got some miles to go. This is going to be a competition. And I asked Slug, I was like, so are you going to come and are you going to compete with American Ethanol for Top Gun? And he goes, that's the hope.
Yeah.
So that makes it exciting because now you have two guys that are pretty close, have run together, have worked together. They're going to kind of be competing, but I don't know who is going to be able to rig a system to go over 214 miles per hour.
And then you got Performance Boat Center right here. You know they're trying to figure out a way to, get up there, do something like that.
No disrespect.
So.
There's no way an MTI or a cat is going to be capable on 3/4 of a mile going from 40 to 214 miles per hour. Now, speaking of Myrick Coyle, he had a crazy busy weekend, Chris. He ran, of course, with Dirty Duck, like I told you. Also ran with MCon Racing, Tyler Miller in the kilos, and they also ran in the their Super Stock in the or the Super Cat in the regular run on Saturday. But he didn't stop there. He also raced with Rusty in the S21 Fast Diesel Super Stock boat, as well as ran the brand new Performance 420 that we got to look at Thursday before the shootout. That's a 420, which is a 42-foot cat with twin 500 horsepower Mercuries, and he ran that against an airplane in the air show both Saturday and Sunday.
I saw that. That was cool, man.
So Myrick had a crazy busy weekend and continues to further himself ahead as, in my opinion, the greatest name in all of professional speedboat or powerboat racing. And so that was a good weekend. Now, one of the craziest things that happened, you remember the electric boat?
Yeah.
The last couple of years?
Yep.
They ran 109 last year, setting a world record, which blew a lot of people away because they started with something small like 36 and then 47, and it was like, okay, that's cool. But the 109 was wild, and they came in. Alex Mongen, the owner of VMT, partnered with Sean Tarenti and Sean Tarenti Racing. Now, Sean's a 3-time world champion racer in his own right, to introduce their custom-built carbon fiber hull S2 powerboats. Now, the Canadian-based team showed off their 32-foot Hellcats powerboats cat and set a new world record, ripping 111 the first time. Now, they weren't done. They ran again on Saturday and hit 116, and that was breaking their own record. So that's the mark for the most speed ever brought on water by an electric boat. And driver Sean Connor, throttle Sean Tarente, and owner Alex Mongen, they said they've got some miles to go, and they're already working on their setup for 2024. So that's going to be something to watch. Other records, factory billet, driver and owner Jim Schultz and throttleman, and engine builder Mike Focher, they were in their 51-foot outer limits V-bottom. Now in 2022, they had set the shootout course record for the fastest V-bottom at 166, and on day one, that 162 was good, but they had their sights set on 170 for Sunday, and they were in a little bit of a V-bottom battle with shootout favorite, father-son duo Dennis and Jason Parvey, who run an open cockpit 43-foot Black Thunder. Now, they hit the impressive 166 on Saturday, tying the mark for the most impressive run in shootout history for a V-bottom on a 3/4 mile course. However, on day 2, factory billet. Didn't just break the record, Chris, they smashed it. Schultz and Focher hit 184 miles an hour, crushing their best mark by 18 miles per hour, surprising everyone in attendance and watching around the world. And that was one of the most impressive runs of the weekend.
When you break a record, if you do it by that large of a margin, holy cow, that's amazing.
They felt good about 170, which had never been done up until that point in time, and they just ran a cool, clean, calm 184. Now we're going to stick with the father-son duo. We told you about the Parvies, who their best time was 166. That's their best run ever, and super fast for a V-bottom. But father-son duo, Corey and Joe Purig, took home the top speed for outboard-powered cats on the weekend in their 36-foot Doug Wright catamaran, of course powered by twin 450s. They ran 130 on Saturday and topped that going 134 on their only pass on Sunday. It's the second consecutive year the duos won their class, with Corey being the youngest driver in the shootout a year ago. I got to text with Corey's mom, Marcy Crawford, who was incredibly proud of her son, and as she should be. Another name you'll recognize, Rob Morgan, son of the late Bob Morgan, the event's Hall of Fame namesake, drove Freedom Jr. and hit 102 miles per hour. It's incredibly impressive considering it's a 28-foot skater powered by twin 300s. He wouldn't even take, then he would take a pass of 96 with his son RP and 93 with his daughter Shelby. And the cool thing is, the boat Freedom Jr. used to belong to Jim Lee, who was a racing teammate of Rob's father, Bob. And Jim told Rob it was time for the boat to come home, and that's why I had it. Then for Rob to hit 102 along with 96 and 93 with the kiddos was something special. I know Jim Lee had to love that, and I guarantee you, Chris, that Bob Morgan was smiling down as it all unfolded. One of the cooler moments from the shootout this weekend. Now, our friend Mike Mawson, you know, he runs that cigarette. He repowered and put new drives in his 0442 cigarette featuring 3 565s. Wow. He had topped 93 previously and was really hoping to hit that mark again. His first run, he hit 93 with his son Ryan in the boat. Wow. Then they'd go 94 on consecutive runs for a new PR for Mike. And of course, Mike, one of the most familiar faces with the Lake of the Ozarks shootout. Texas-based Team Yahoo with owner-driver Curtis Morris teamed up with throttleman Jammin' Jones in their 40-foot skater cat. That boasts twin 2,000 horsepower, boost power USA engines. They ran 175 Saturday and then 180 on Sunday. What a solid weekend for Team Yahoo. Another one, Carolyn Doris, the matriarch of females racing in the shootout. She spent her first shootout without her late husband, Jim Doris, who of course was the founder of Playcraft Boats and the first person to ever bring a pontoon to run in the shootout back in '95. That year he ran at 46, and the rest is history because he's the one that started it. Now, Jim ran his last shootout in 2002 and was honored at this year's event. Carolyn continued the tradition of running every single year. She's won Top Gun in her class every year but one since '98. And she rocked it another year this year. Their son David, he ran 72 and 74, and their grandson JT has been known to run as well. Every year, the Doris family are one of the most iconic families in shootout history. Carolyn, we love you, and we know that Jim was watching all the action unfold with the best seat in the house. Now, another female that credits Carolyn for getting started, Carrie Sixkiller. She is a fan favorite who started racing back in 2007. And again, she credits Carolyn for getting her interested. And she said what's great is you go around the country and you compete with the women. The Lake of the Ozarks shootout, it gives you an opportunity to compete with the celebrities, the big names in racing. And Carrie loves it so much, she's kind of become a favorite of the professional racers, where she's kind of a celebrity in her own right. She's certainly a fan favorite among shootout friends, fans, and volunteers. Her and her husband Ron were actually one of the first people Unique and I trusted to hold Brindley at the 2021 shootout, which was Brindley's first shootout. Now, Sixkiller ran 64 and 65 this weekend, making it 17 consecutive years at the shootout. Now, the kilo races happened. Was not super familiar with what that was. I know it was a timed event, loop wrap. There were 12 teams set to run, and for Tyler Miller in Class 1 Monster Energy, IMCON in their 2023 Skater 438 Cat. They set a world record because no one per APBA had ever attempted it with Class 1 credentials. And so I know their average speed was like 147 on that run, which was incredibly impressive. And they had a good weekend as a whole. IMCON Racing and Monster Energy, as owner throttle Tyler Miller, ran 131 Saturday with Myrick Coyle in their Super Cat Class Skater 388. And then in the Class 1 Monster Energy IMCON Skater 438 with Monster Energy's Casey Van Kuren. Did you see that?
Yeah,
How cool is that?
That's
She's
amazing.
the Monster Energy Motorsports manager. Never driven anything faster than a pontoon in her life. And Tyler's like, hey, do you want to run the boat? And she's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And so she ran 133 the first time, and she got done, and she was on cloud 9, and Tyler looks over at her and goes, you want to go again? And she's like, are you serious? So they did, and she topped it by a mile. You can check out a really cool feature with Casey Van Buren along with Rayleigh on Speedboat Magazine. And you'll probably notice that on the Monster Energy and IMCON racing boats this weekend, Lake TV's logo was all over.
Right there, baby.
We were really excited and thankful for the opportunity. Partner with Tyler Miller, IMCON Racing, and Monster Energy. Spent some time with them going into the event Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Just a crazy, nice people. So thankful for that, and that did a lot for Lake TV. Of course, Tyler Miller, we were at his dock, his wife Lindsay, the Monster team with Casey Van Kuren, and the Monster Energy girls. Just can't say enough good about them. And that's an incredible, both of those boats are incredible, not just the Super Cat, but the Class 1 43 is wow.
Yeah, the whole weekend was fantastic. But we went in wondering how American Ethanol was going to do. They topped what they've done before. They were incredible. Monster was just beyond an amazing. Myrick Coyle, I mean, the Dirty Duck. It was just a great week of racing, no doubt about it.
And to top things off, you know, we rolled out this year for the first time the Lake TV and Cert Yamaha PWC racing team. And that was pretty exciting because for the third consecutive year, James Myers took Top Gun. If you didn't see the father-son duo of Mike and James Myers and their story heading into Shootout, James ran 96, didn't hit 100 like he's hoping for, but he's confident they'll figure that out for next year. His father, Mike, won second with a time of 88. And Kristen Jagorchek, she went 84, and all three of those were on the back of a Cert Yamaha Wave Runner, and all three were part of the Lake TV Cert Yamaha PWC racing team. So in our first year, a clean podium sweep. How about that, baby?
You can't beat that, can you? That's about as good as you can get.
Incredibly proud of James, Mike, and Kristen for their performance and their incredible representation of us here at Lake TV and Cert Yamaha. Thank you guys for your effort. But that's a wrap on Shootout. But I'm telling you, we got to give a shout out to Lake Ozark Real Estate, broker associate Jonathan Hartenstein. Just phenomenal what he was able to do. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back and wrap up. But Shootout's really all we wanted to talk about. We got Stacy Pirtle. She'll be on the set, and then we'll come back and wrap up this week's Cup of Coffee.
Hey everybody, Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. It's our Labor Day sale, and we got some special things going on here at the store. You buy the sectional, you get the matching recliner for free, and save up to $800 off of our super luxurious Stearns & Foster mattress sets. And there's up to $700 off of Tempur-Pedics, the most highly recommended mattresses in the industry. And let's not forget the dining room, 5-piece set for $399. Come see us at our Labor Day sale at Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
And as promised, it's time to introduce you guys to Stacy Pirtle with the Magic Dragon Trails. Stacy, I'm so glad to have you. Before we talk about this upcoming event, I wanted to give you an opportunity to give us a quick synopsis on what is the Magic Dragon Trails, because listen guys, one of the coolest things taking place at the lake over the last year or so. So Stacy, welcome.
Thank you.
What is the Magic Dragon Trails?
All right, so the Magic Dragon Trails are a system of multi-use recreational trails that we're looking to build. We've got a master plan so far of about 70 miles of trails here. We're going to start hopefully breaking ground this fall, maybe late fall, between Three Seasons Road and Nichols Road. Those trails are going to have at the most a 5% grade increase and decrease, which if you know the Ozarks and you know the lay of the land, that's kind of amazing. But they're very family friendly, kid friendly. Kids that live down Three Seasons Road could walk or ride their bike on those trails to Osage Beach Elementary.
Wow, that's going to be a beautiful addition. And for those of you who might have been living under a rock the last year or so and don't know about what the Magic Dragon Trails are already doing, talk about the facility out there by the Y. And you guys have had bicycle skills park, or bicycle skills clinics. You guys have really been active.
Yes, we have. We ran 4 bicycle skills clinic. We had one where we had a professional mountain biker come in, and he gave tips to some of those more experienced. But one of the really cool things that we did this summer were the 3 bicycle skills camps. We have Strider bikes, which are balance bikes. You don't have any pedals on them. They learn to kind of walk, then run, then glide with them, and then they pedal. And so we ran those camps a week long. We had, I want to say, a total of 36 kids, and I had over 20 that by the end of the week were pedaling, and they ranged from ages 2 to 18. Just so touching. I got a Facebook message last night from one of the moms. They don't even live here. They have a place down here, and they were here, so little girl wanted to come out and do it because she'd been riding back in Kansas City her scooter with the other kids in the neighborhood that were biking. And so it was a little hard for her to keep up. And so we got her riding, pedaling. So she's out pedaling, and they're coming back Labor Day weekend, and we're going to try to meet up at the Skills Park at the YMCA. The Skills Park itself is more for kids or adults that are already riding their bike. It's got obstacles on there. We've got a lot of rollovers, serpentines, Y bridges, that type of thing to kind of introduce them to mountain biking. And then we've got 2/3 mile trail out there that is a kind of a novice intermediate trail to see what mountain biking is really kind of all about.
And one of the things I love that you guys have done is, let's face it, down here at the lake, the poverty level, a lot of people don't understand how serious of an issue that is. And so you guys, with Branches of the Lake, have partnered for a partnership where you guys really help families or kids who may not be able to get their own bike.
Yes, we are doing a bike giveaway and once a month, and we've done that every month this year. We hope to extend that next year with the help of some of the businesses and donors. We're also looking, I get calls quite a bit asking if we can take extra bikes that people have just sitting in their garage. The kids are gone or outgrown them. And so we're going to be working to have some type of storage facility shop somewhere that we can get a group of seniors and maybe veterans to work on rehabbing those bikes and give those bikes away to kids. So yeah, this is an activity, the trails, and that's kind of why we did it. It's an economic builder, but it's also a healthy builder for families and kids to get out and get off the screens and actually enjoy being outside, walking, riding your bike. That's something you can do a lifetime. You can't necessarily, and I love football and basketball. My kid played those all through the years. But, biking and walking is something that you can do
forever.
For
sure. And so those of you watching that may not have heard about the Magic Dragon Trails, you're like, man, this sounds awesome. I want to get involved. Well, there's a really cool event coming up in October that you guys are holding. It's the Halloween Park and Haunted Trail. I'm getting pretty excited, so tell us about this event.
Okay, so this event is on this actual Skills Park. We're going to have businesses or civic groups come in and set up. They've got 15-foot space where they can set up a booth. It can be, a coloring contest, a photo booth, pumpkin carving, any type of Halloween activity. I don't know if kids like to bob for apples anymore, but those type of things. And the Skills Park is going to be the safe, fun, family-friendly area. Then we're going to have 15 feet that businesses and civic organizations can decorate in the trails that is actually haunted and scary. And so we're looking for groups to come out and do that. We're running it October 27th through the 29th, which is a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Hopefully we will have great weather and we won't have to move it inside, but we are also looking for a potential location where we might be able to do that. So anybody can register to decorate, church groups. It's just a great family activity, and all of the funds will be going to Magic Dragon Trails for trail construction.
Incredible. And look, we need you guys, you businesses, you civic organizations, get behind this cause, because as Stacy alluded to, the screens, the video games, the cell phones, those are getting out of control. And you guys have seen when you put a kid in an element outside and give them something that's challenging and they can learn, they typically thrive and they want to do it more and more.
Yeah, one of the best things that we saw from the Bicycle Skills Camp was the confidence that the kids got from learning to ride a bike. We had one little boy, probably the most touching, and I may cry here, but came and just really, you could tell he didn't have a social network, and maybe was one of those kids that wasn't going to be involved with typical team sports. By the end of the week, he had learned to ride his bike. He had developed friendships with kids. Grandma and Grandpa were so pleased with what he was doing. They went out and bought him a new bike. It was just an incredibly touching story.
And that makes it all so worth all of your time and your effort. So hey, before I let you go, I want you to tell the people watching at home or online right now, how do they reach out to you so they can get involved?
All right. Well, we have a registration form. You can contact us at branchesforthelake.com, or I'm sorry, branchesforthelake.org. You can also email amy@branchesforthelake.org.
Perfect. We'll put those up on screen as well right there. Well, Stacy, keep up the great work, my friend. Looking forward to this event, October 27th, 28th, 29th at the Magic Dragon Skills Obstacle Park. Thank you so much, Stacy.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
It's Lake TV's biggest event ever. It's the 2023 Wiener Nationals powered by Woods live on Lake TV. Sunday, September 3rd from the Moberly Motorsports Park. Join Scott Bloomquist and Scotty Cook for an unforgettable night of super late model racing and family fun entertainment you won't want to miss. A little of this, that, and a whole lot more. Proceeds from this year's event will all be going to Lizzie's Walk of Faith Foundation. The 2023 Wiener Nationals powered by Woods, Sunday, September 3rd, lives on Lake TV.
Man, that's going to be a fun event out there at Magic Dragon Trails. Another fun event that you just saw the promo for, the 2023 Wiener Nationals powered by Woods. It's this Sunday, and our pre-race show is going to kick off at 4:15, Chris. It's going to be such a great day.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this, and I think this is going to be something that's going to become a standard year after year after year. The Wiener Nationals, I know you're just hearing about it probably for the first time. You might think it has something to do with dogs, but it does not. It's auto racing, and it's incredible. It's right here, close to home. Join us on Sunday for this, because you're going to love it, and this is going to become something huge going forward.
All right, and just like I was with the boat racing industry 5-6 years ago when I really dove in, this type of racing I'm incredibly ignorant to, so I'm going to tell you a little bit of the stuff off my schedule so it makes sense. You're going to have a Hot Laps Lucas Oil, MLRA. You're going to have B-Mod Hot Lap qualifying. There's going to be skydivers, Chris.
Wow, cool.
There's going to be MLRA time trials. There's going to be different heats, from B-Mod heats to Lucas Oil MLRA heats. They're going to have Tina Turner impersonator.
Is that going to
awesome.
be you?
No, that won't be me. They're going to have a burnout competition towards the end of the night.
Yeah.
They're going to have the final laps. Of course, they'll have the final heat at the end of the night. Fireworks, all kinds of other things. There's food trucks. There's vendors. There's so much stuff. And I just heard that Australian racing phenom Nathan Hearn and Mizzou's Luther Burden will be your celebrity guest.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So that'll be a lot of fun. Again, Sunday, September 3rd, the third annual Wiener Nationals from the Moberly Motorsports Park, powered by Woods. Catch all the action on all Lake TV platforms. We're super fired up about that event. Should be a blast.
Absolutely, yeah. And they do it on Labor Day weekend. Great weekend. You're going to be home, going to have time. Just turn on Lake TV and enjoy all that if you can't get up to Moberly yourself.
Yeah, you can watch it anywhere you want. Also, check out last year's recap video, kind of give you an idea of how much fun that is. All right, we wanted to tell you real quick, Kovacs Fireworks, they've been the most trusted name in fireworks for 35 years, and they're rolling out the red carpet for the lake area for Labor Day. They're open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11 to 8, and on Labor Day Monday from noon to 5. You'll love their massive climate-controlled indoor showroom in Lori off Sherman Drive. You're going to look for the windmill. And if you're coming from Sunrise Beach, you'll turn after that big billboard. Now, also, this is what's cool. They're manufactured direct, Chris, so they have by far the best pricing at the lake. And hey, if you're looking to go big and their hours don't work for you, I suggest giving them a call, and I'm pretty confident Becky, Lucas, and the crew will meet you up there and get you taken care of. They're the best in the business, so don't forget that the exclusive fireworks partner of Lake TV and your one-stop shop for Labor Day fireworks at the lake is Kovacs Fireworks in Lori, Warsaw, and St. Joseph. And they have just, you've been in there, that's an incredible showroom,
that's a great
isn't it?
place. Yeah, that's where I get my firecrackers to throw at the geese on my lawn, man.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
absolutely.
All right, so listen, we had a great first week of high school football. Camdenton beat Rolla. This Friday night will be in Osage, where Moberly and Osage get going at 7 o'clock, pregame show at 6:30. But there's so much good going on Lake TV, from the Community Spotlight, Happy Hour, our doc series, the high school football coaches show, all the shootout content doesn't end. So we suggest, if you don't already, go plug into all Lake TV platforms. Should be another great couple of weeks on Lake TV.
You and Mike Bissell did such a great job. Game 1, Camdenton win over Rolla. Fantastic.
Yeah, but you're going to be missed, my friend. That's going to do it for this week's Cup of Coffee from Slumberland at the Lake. We'll see you guys next time.